All right, let's talk to Stephen, a theist in Washington, but has a question about secular political action. So I'm not sure where his theism comes in. Stephen, won't you enlighten me, please?
I am so sorry that I am not obeying the outline of the show as well. So you are just striking out today.
Did mine you hear is that short, last call, though? That was a home run.
So basically, I've called in a couple of times to various different atheist shows, and I've been struggling to figure out what exactly it is that I'm looking for, and I think that it's this. There are Christian nationalist lobbying groups that have been influencing the politics of my local government in an adverse way that makes me very deeply uncomfortable and gives me a lot of anxiety. So what I'm looking for is some kind of outline or so the FRC, the Family Research Council, is a lobbying group, and they put out a lot of voter guides and a lot of information to tell Christians, specifically Christian dominionists, exactly what they have to vote for and exactly what they have to do to get local politics and national politics to move in their direction. I know that secular people usually don't do things that are that like fundamentalist or that authoritarian, but I'm really looking for how to go about being as effective as I possibly can be in fighting that movement.
Well, it depends. Do you know what kind of organization this is? Like, is it a nonprofit? Are they a church themselves? Or is it like a corporation? Because if it's a corporation, it sounds like, unfortunately, you might be shit out of luck. But
are you talking about they are the FRC specifically?
Yeah. Or? Yeah, the one who's distributing these pamphlets.
Okay. They're a nightmare.
So the FRC is a very large lobbyist group. I think technically they are a corporation, but really what I'm looking for is what is the secular version of that? I'm Episcopalian, and we don't have any beliefs about, enforcing our religion on other people. And the fact that other Christians are doing that makes me really upset that my faith is being misrepresented that way. So that's what I'm looking for. Where are the secular lobbyists that I can talk to?
Well, first thing I would do is drop the secular need, even though I'm going to give you some examples, because secular only means one thing. It's kind of like atheist, and it's not that meaningful. However, there are secular groups who the purpose of their group isn't even really important that they're atheist or secular, because they actually should be embraced by everybody. So I was going to say, as a Christian, you should love the Freedom from Religion Foundation, because it is protecting your rights as much as it's protecting atheist and secular rights. That's probably one of the best foundations where if you are seeing a legal overstepping, contacting them through their contact form, sending every resource you could say, even if it's like, here's news coverage of something they're doing, here's something, or if it's just to say, if you just say, I heard this might be happening, you're probably not going to get much out of that. But that's an organization that I think is excellent. And as far as, so this is whenever people are like, hey, how come there's no like atheist lobby? And there actually are, but I'm not a part of any atheist lobby because I'm not well represented by most atheists. Because atheist just means doesn't believe in God. Secular, I guess, is a good term to attach to certain things if you aren't doing it in an atheist versus theist kind of way, just to say that secular meaning we're not using any supernatural means to justify our beliefs or anything. And again, there are lots and lots of things. Every single day, every religious person does some sort of secular thing. We're not brushing our teeth for religious reasons. We're brushing our teeth for secular reasons. Now, not every religious person brushes their teeth, so there's other examples besides that. But I highly recommend the Freedom from Religion Foundation. I highly recommend... I'm blanking on it now. As far as the legal stuff goes, that one's going to do very well. As far as specific things, Yeah, the ACLU is good. The Southern Poverty Law Center is good. But as far as local stuff goes, I wouldn't, like, don't go Google, like, Washington State and secular anti. Find whatever the specific cause is and go look for a group that is trying to affect change in that. So in Texas right now, I don't care if it's secular or a religious organization, a pro-abortion rights organization would be a great place to be volunteering when you're in Texas. And in Washington State, I would say something similar. But if people are actually looking for, and this is, you're religious, so I don't think you are, but there are a lot of secular people out there who think that there is some secular movement and thing going on that's going to save us. And the truth of the matter is, we're probably all fucked, but we want to fight and try and not be. But I'm pretty cynical these days and sort of think like, yeah, the world's fucked. I don't see how we actually get out of the current polarization that is happening worldwide, fueled by new things that didn't exist prior, without some sort of significant conflict happening in the future, especially in the United States. I hope I'm wrong, but the polarization level that we are getting to now is as bad as any time in history that we've had ginormous wars. So we'll see what happens. But that isn't to discourage you from doing anything. You should definitely fight while you can fight. And so I recommend FFRF. What about you, Arden?
Yeah, so there are definitely, it might be that, I don't know how you identify yourself politically, Stephen, but it may be worth looking into an organization like the Democratic Socialists of America. They have chapters in pretty much every major city, and they're going to be doing probably stuff that's like similar in the sense that they are going to be promoting causes. They're going to be putting a lot of effort into promoting more like leftist and those types of like political movements. But obviously they're going to have like sound ethical frameworks, or more sound ethical frameworks. I also think it's worth, like, as we move into a digital age, it sounds like the question you're asking is like, how do we counter this spread of ideas with the spread of good ideas? And I do think as we move into the digital age, a lot of this stuff is going to come from, like, as shitty as it is, like, personalities who do shows like this. Like, I'm not going to say that like everything Vosh has ever said is good. I have a lot of disagreements with the guy, but like, he has spread so many left-leaning ideas and moved so many people towards like more progressive causes, and I think seeing stuff like that gives me like a little bit of hope that people are moving in at least a better direction, even if it's like, I don't know if like the outcome I would necessarily agree with individual people. And I would encourage everyone who watches those kinds of people to heavily scrutinize every single idea they, hand to you. But yeah, I realize this may be unsatisfying because I feel like religion has a lot deeper roots on like the kind of on how much they can impact people's like voting and things like that. But I think the way we start is by putting a lot of effort behind these sort of groups and by like matching them. The reason they've dominated us for so long is because they've been putting a lot of effort into that kind of stuff. And I think we just gotta go as high as they go,
Yeah, I'll tell you, Stephen, I'm glad
you're...
Go ahead.
Let me just briefly clarify something real quick. What I was trying to get at is the way that these lobbyists and these churches work together is to make it as dead simple and straightforward to get every single movement and every single issue that they care about higher on the docket and get it pushed through. So let's take like pro-choice and like I would say that the drug war has a lot to do with religious conservatism. So some people have different perspectives on that, but for every one of those issues that is in support of a secular ideal, they have a package deal to give to someone, and I don't see that for a secular view.
Right. I think what you're describing is that it seems like our opposition has an easier time because they don't even consider the means, they only consider the ends. And so whatever ends get you there, like creating a vigilante abortion law, they go for. And unfortunately, being in a position that is frankly a more moral position does come with some difficulty, and I 100% share in your frustration. I'm glad it's that temptation of going like, these people fight dirty, so let's fight dirty. These people cheat, so let's cheat. But sometimes cheating comes at the cost of, for lack of a better term, your soul, which I mean in a secular meaning, as in you've become like fucking gross. So it's difficult because it is a juggling act. I'm glad you're asking the questions. A lot of people aren't. A lot of people's activism only extends into online today. I called 7 people a racist, 6 people a sexist, and 5 people a homophobe, and a partridge in a pear tree. And those people are not real activists. Their activism can be done entirely from the toilet. And frankly, like the fact that people think that the moment they can recognize if somebody's being racist is like the zenith of their activism is incredibly discouraging. Go walk outside and do something real. And I'm glad that you're looking for the ways to do something real, and I share in your frustrations. We shared the organizations that we kind of like. If you come up with something, Stephen, feel free to email the show, a message to the show. I do wish that we had time to get into why you believe in Christianity, but the show, we've already gone over time here. So, Stephen, if I could ask you to call back, I would love to dive into that if you're down to do it.
Sure. When's the next show you're going to be on?
I'm going to guess probably. So, as far as the Sunday show goes, probably first or second week of October. Actually, not the first week of October, probably second week of October, but there may be a Friday call-in show, Dear Mr. Atheist Styles, in the second half of this month.
Okay, perfect. I'll
Awesome.
call back in.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to hearing if you came up with some ways we can fight fire with fire. Unfortunately,
Yeah, find better ideas than the ones we gave you too. I feel like I was looking for scraps there for organizations. So I'm sure there are way better ones than some of the stuff we came up with.
I will say integrity is an impediment that we unfortunately have to deal with, because that's. I wish we didn't, but we do. Stephen, thank you so much for watching, or for calling rather. Also watching, but calling especially.
Yep. Thank you.